Hey everybody, tonight I'm going to make a video. I'm going to try to not ramble too much and really try to just list a few things that have helped me. I had a breakthrough today. It was great, finally. Um, I realized that I think with that funky cold it came out of nowhere. No one else got sick, thankfully, but it came out of nowhere. I didn't know that I had been around anyone that was sick, and it was a really nasty cold with fevers and body aches and everything. Like I said, at first I thought I had the flu or COVID or strep. It was that bad. It took a while to get over, and it felt like something different. Just the timing of it and the intensity of it. And of course, it's a cold, but of course, nothing is, I don't think anything is like, oh, just nothing, you know? And I was like, man, this feels weird. And I swear, I think that my body was kind of forcing me to calm down, to take a step back and to just get some rest and catch up on my rest. Um, and today was just like a good day. I heard back from Mark. I sent him 10 pages from the Soft White Underbelly. I sent him 10 pages of my memoir to get his feedback. You know, I'm just like a neurotic recovering addict in West Virginia, Southern West Virginia, which is like Southern West Virginia is the West Virginia of West Virginia. You know, I'm in a working class and, an impoverished mountain area. I don't have a lot of people who have a creative eye that I can really get feedback on. So sometimes I do wonder, man, I wonder how this would look, how my writing would sound, or if people would like get the vibe of it. Besides just me, I love it. And my friends that have read it like it, but they're my friends, so I was like, man, what do you think about this? I ran it into Mark at the state fair. I had not been to the state fair since 2012. It's a big area, and here's this guy from California at the exact same ride as I was as I'm getting ready to leave. It was just like crazy serendipitous. So I got a response back, and he loved it. He said it was, quote, incredible, and it felt really genuine. I said, look, if I'm going to give you this, I need your honest feedback. Please don't sugarcoat. Be nice, of course, but I really want some, constructive criticism or critiques, or just like, what do you think? What do you think? Maybe am I insane? And he really liked it. He asked me what I was going to do with it. I told him, man, I'm trying to get published. I'm like trying to get an agent. I have all these naysayers. I mean, I don't have all these people around me, period. But my mom is like, oh, what are you going to do? That's never going to pan out. You don't know how to get a book published. You need a plan B. My best friend was like, oh, well, you kind of have to be rich. Her and her husband actually were both like, well, you have to be rich and or famous to really get published and get like a book on the shelf. It's just the way it is. And I'm like, man, I have to like prove, no, I don't have to prove anything to anyone but myself, but I like really don't feel like that's right. I do not feel like I have come so far in my life and I have this passion and I cured my own PTSD. Surely it can help others. In 5 years, I went from being almost murdered. In 6 years, I went from being a homeless, heroin addicted prostitute to, being sober and having a sense of peace in my heart and soul and mind, which was unheard of for me. And I have a passion. This is not it for me. Like, the buck does not stop with, going to my deathbed in a trailer in Southern West Virginia with like this unfinished or not unfinished. It's completely finished, and actually, but an unpublished, memoir. That is not going to happen. I refuse to believe that. So anyway, there's all these naysayers, and then there's my former self saying, oh, is it really all that? Maybe you're delusional. Maybe there's nothing to the law of attraction. It's like wishful thinking or whatever. So he was really feeling it. When I got his feedback, it was super positive. He said he didn't know. I asked him, how did you get published? How it's a photography book, but nonetheless, how did you do it? And he said someone saw his photos and really liked them and wanted to, offered, hey, let me hook you up here and help you get this in a photography book. So anyway, I felt really good about it. I felt really good that it just felt like confirmation that I was really, um, wanting, but it also felt genuine and natural. So, and that was great. Confirmation that I am on the right page, that, man, my writing is something special. It feels special to me, but it also is special, and getting published will happen. I just have to keep at it. So I'm telling myself this. I have a realization about my cold. It was kind of always been in the back of my mind for about 5 days since I've gotten over this cold. Like, man, that was deeper. There was something to that. And then I realized it made me pump the brakes on, getting too little sleep. I still don't get the exact amount of sleep I would like, and a lot of people don't. But I was really going to sleep after midnight, waking up at 5:30, just so I could pound, do my reviews of my memoir and keep writing and doing all these things that are very meaningful. But it caught up to me. My eating habits. I've been doing great. Vegan breakfast, losing weight, turning my health around, great. But nonetheless, I was having a lot of, I was still eating a lot more processed food. Even if it wasn't meat, it was still a lot of processed bullshit. Even if it was just like a bite here and a bite there, that adds up. And it wasn't enough to really impact the scale. But I think that was it too. The food I'm consuming needs to be a little less processed. I think our entire lives need to be a little less processed. And so like that was a big epiphany. And I don't know, I just feel positive and optimistic, and I feel like I got over a hump in my soul, in my third eye, in my mind's perspective. And I know perspective is everything. And that's why it's so frustrating when I know what I know now. I even know a little bit about what I don't know. I know all these things, come so far, and I'm still having hurdles that are difficult to get over. And when they're mental hurdles, that is everything. They're all mental hurdles, really. But, with my mind, I tend to, I'm working on it, ruminate. Just kind of dig deeper and deeper. Before I know it, I'm like snowballing in this rumination. And it is like hamster wheel inertia. It will drive you crazy. Trust me. So I got over a hump. I got over a perspective hump. And so that's why I'm making this video. What I learned from today, the example today with my perspective. Perspective is always everything. You can't get sober with the wrong perspective. You can't get momentum in your life in the right direction with the wrong perspective. It is the baseline for everything. It's how you view yourself, how you see yourself. How you see yourself is how you see your position in the world, your relationships with others, your worth. It's all a matter of perspective. Perspective is like literally everything. And I know this, but I couldn't figure out what was the problem. And I was going back and forth of trying to give myself pep talks and do these amazing things, and then being like, oh, well, but look where you're at. It's been 5 years, and, you're still in a trailer. You're still, living in poverty. I was like coming at my life from this lack mindset. And today, at the end of the day, I realized that I am okay. I do have control over my life. And I knew that before, but I'm like feeling and living in that knowing now. And I can see myself talking to someone in the future, when I am like an overnight success that has been years and really decades in the making. I can see myself talking to someone and being like, oh, you were living in poverty. Your bank account was like in the negative. You had all these things stacked against you. How did you pull through? I can see myself like having a conversation with someone, and I can see my book being on the shelves. And I'm okay no matter what. Like the poverty thing, yeah, that is measurable. Your socioeconomics are measurable, but being poor is a state of mind, because I have everything now that I need. I have everything, and I have control over myself. I have autonomy and peace of mind. So just like if you are in a rut, a spiritual rut or just a funky rut, and you look around your life and it's like, oh, this ain't it. Just do what you can, do everything you can to the best of your ability. Obviously not without going overboard and doing anything to excess is bad, but do what you can to the best of your ability. And either get there, to take those little steps in the right direction of doing what you can step by step. If you're going in that direction, that's what you can do at the time, but make that conscious decision to go in the right direction. And if you are doing everything you can, don't, the lesson I learned is I was doing everything I could, but I felt like it wasn't enough, because the results, my life right now was not equaling where I wanted it to be. It was not adding up. So I thought I needed to do more. I needed to not get that rest when my body was telling me otherwise. I needed to push through and stay awake, and just like worry and think, oh, I got to be better. It has to be perfect. And it's like, man, do all you can. But once you are doing everything you can, know and stand in that confidence of, hey, I'm doing what I can, therefore it'll work out. Stand in that knowing, that was like a huge takeaway. Like, I'm doing everything. I have visions, goals, a kick-ass book that's going to help potentially millions of people. I mean, damn, if Glennon Doyle can do it, I can do it. I'm sorry, I think she's phony, but I'm just going to say it. No shade. I respect the shit out of a lot of things she's doing, but I do. I find her very disingenuous. But if she can do it, I can do it. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. We can all do it, just do what we can, take steps to get to where we want to be. And if we're taking those steps, then guess what? We're that person, if we're going in the right direction, then we're that person, and we're getting there. And it's just a matter of time. It could be, tomorrow, 10 minutes from now, 10 days from now, whatever, it's just a matter of time. So I had to relax, take a step back, and stand in the knowing of, hey, I'm okay right now. I'm grateful for where I'm at. And this isn't the finish line, and I know that. So just relax and take care of my body, mind, soul, eating habits, and just gotta keep, kicking ass and game of life to the best of my ability, and it will be okay. So that was a huge takeaway. And two other small things that I did really and have been doing since I've gotten sober within the past 5 years, and really since I've had a spiritual awakening in 2020. That was huge. And what that means for me, because it's just like, God, it kind of sounds like words almost in a way, but a couple practices that were huge for me was the gratitude prayer that I've been doing since 2011. Every night, thank you, God, for the success you've given me today. I've been doing that, like I said, since 2011. My first sponsor in NA and AA, told me that is a gratitude prayer. Easy, simple. You can do it anywhere. Feel that sentence, and that's it. Communicating with God, communicating with yourself, giving that gratitude and putting it out there. It's a great way to go to sleep. But besides that, like I said, was from 2011. From in the past 5 years, from 2018 and then in 2020, I really kicked it into high gear by making a conscious decision to meditate. sit, focus on a candle. I don't do that. I do YouTube. But if there's ever a time where we don't have social media and we don't have the internet, we will always have ourselves. And the things that have helped me the most are 100% the things that do not cost money. They are not external. But since we can use the internet, since we do have that option, use it while we can. You know, I pull up a meditation, a 10-minute meditation. They were all very helpful. It was a process, but the first meditation practice that, and just doing that, even just 10 minutes, a basic meditation, I would light a candle, focus on the flame, close my eyes, and just try to sit in that stillness and in that presence and listen, put my headphones in and listen to a 10-minute meditation. Make sure to put your phone on Do Not Disturb, which I learned the hard way when I got a call mid-meditation. The first one, meditation that really highly recommend. It was a game changer. It was the first time I really think my third eye kind of opened. Was the Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian healing modality. After about 3.5 weeks of doing a guided meditation of Ho'oponopono, I hope I'm saying that correctly, a healing modality from Hawaii, man, I can't say, I've never been to Hawaii. I had a roommate in rehab. The second time I was in rehab, my roommate had family, immediate family in Hawaii. Her first name is Emily, and I wouldn't say her last name because we were roommates in rehab. I'm not trying to put anybody on blast, but I lost contact with her when I got obviously back out. When I relapsed after going to rehab the second time, I lost contact with her. Don't know how to look her up on social media. I mean, you can't just search a first name of any state and actually find some results. But she was a great roommate to have. I really felt like she was soul placement of all that anyone I could have had as a roommate at that moment in my life in rehab. I felt like she was a soul placement. We really got each other on that soul level. She was a beautiful person. I'm sure she still is, but man, I know she's not going to see this, but please message me if by chance you would, because I think about you a lot. And man, the thing in Hawaii, it really put me in a funk because it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking, and you know, natural disasters are tragic enough, but natural, keyword, that didn't resonate in my heart of hearts and my gut initial reaction. My gut reaction is suspicion. That ain't right. That don't add up. Same thing with the Canadian wildfires. Doesn't add up. And I put nothing past the U.S. regime. We are a war factory, a hate factory, big pharma, big business, big corruption. You know, they had that. It was so ironic when I got sober. I'm going off on a tangent. I'll get right back. But when I got sober, it was so funny. There was that's when defund the police early in my recovery, that kind of became like a talking point for an election cycle or whatever. I think it was an election cycle was coming up, and defund the police got big as a slogan. And it's like, man, if you guys only knew, it was so funny to see a bunch of people who don't even know what they don't even know about the law. You know, and any addict who doesn't have the money to have their problems swept under the rug, and if you're an addict, then guess what? You've been on the wrong side of the law. And there is we have to defund the motherfuckers that fund the police. The U.S. government is the police. It's just, they're disgusting. And I put nothing past these people. They are just, they're not about, humanity. And they're not about high vibe, and they're not about love and compassion and caring. They don't give a shit if they cannot make a buck or make a profit off of it. They do not care at all. And so, God, I'm tangent completed. But anyway, Ho'oponopono. My true prayers go out to Hawaii. It's like, it's disgusting, but know thy enemy. The enemy is external. The enemy is the U.S. government, and the enemy is the version of me that doesn't know the enemy within. So therefore, I couldn't know the enemy external. But Ho'oponopono, after 3.5 weeks, I had a breakthrough. I did it every morning. And what I loved about it, even before I had a breakthrough, where my eyes kind of felt like twitchy, even though I don't think they were actually moving. And my third eye, I got like this tunnel vision. My eyes weren't even open. It was beautiful. It was trippy. It was thundering. There was a thunderstorm that morning. It was one of the most beautiful spiritual experiences of my life. And that was because of Ho'oponopono. And for someone like me who has a lot of trauma, who had a lot of mental illness and a lot to work through, addiction is trauma, life is traumatic, life is half pain. If you cannot deal with the pain of life, let alone any specific traumas that have been inflicted upon you. But if you cannot deal with the trauma of life, then you can't, or the pain of life, then your life is trauma, your life is pain, and you manifest it fully. Your entire life becomes pain until you can process the pain and the trauma of just living. So anyway, that's what made it such a beautiful, makes it such a beautiful practice, so powerful and so spiritual, because it says, it's 4 sentences that encompass it all. I am sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. That's it, And I would feel every single sentence, and I would really try to feel it. And as someone who is new to meditation at the time too, and being present, focusing on those, the power of those words, and the power of the sentence, and the power of the practice, it was just so therapeutic, because I needed to hear that. I needed to say it to myself. I needed to say it, just put it out there. Anyone that has wronged me, anyone that I have wronged, I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I put it out there, and I said it to myself, and it was just a true healing modality. It was beautiful. Just, I cannot recommend it enough, and it's free, and it works. And after 3.5 weeks, I was meditating, and I didn't expect to have even a heightened spiritual experience, but it was thunderstorming. I could hear the thunder through my headphones. It was a beautiful rainstorm. I love rain. I love the smell of rain. I love the sound of it, the coziness of it. And it was a thunderstorm, and all of a sudden, it's like I kind of got tunnel vision, and my eyes twitched, and it was just like, I don't know, it was hard to describe, but man, I was like, this is it, I'm doing it. Thank you, it was beautiful. So meditation, Ho'oponopono, move your body, do something, go outside. First thing, I highly recommend barefoot if you can. Just look up into the sky. I drink my coffee outside, and don't distract yourself all the time, especially first thing in the morning. It's also been huge for my mental health. As I said previously, I got rid of cable, but I also had to be aware that I had to stop watching negative news, and it's all negative. To the best of my ability, don't look at it online. I don't do social media for the same reason, mental health. But go outside and get some fresh air, and just walking the dog, getting a dog, taking care of a dog, getting that pure love from your pets. It's beautiful, and that's a great way to keep your physical health and mental health, and therefore soul health in check. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. Those are just a few things, but if you get that perspective, in summary, if you just work on having a perspective of, this is who I am, this is where I want to go, this is where I'm going, it's a great way. You can practice discernment, you can, self-love. Your perspective is everything, and just keep your eyes on the prize, to get off that like hamster wheel of inertia that is so maddening. So y'all have a good night.